Welcome you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lectio Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guylain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada. Love rock music for a long while, especially hard rock, metal, and prog. Once a week, on Tuesday night, I come back to my little office when I do some research, and I listen to an instrumental piece. Most of the time it's a song that you suggested, and this is the case because for two reasons. First, when I did a survey about what are the 20 best songs of Nightwish, the Islander came very, very close, maybe 21 or 22. Secondly, the album Dark Passion Play. After going through the whole set of the album of Nightwish, I really enjoyed Dark Passion Play to another level, I would say. So after discussing with a few friends and some of you on the website and on the channel, I decided to make it all along the whole album Dark Passion Play. Now, this song is not the first one, as you can see, right? So after I decided to do the whole album, I was a little bit stuck in a way because I already did 3 songs of that album. You can see The Poet and the Pendulum, Amaranth, and the third one will be The 7 Days to the Wolves were included in the 24 songs to fall in love with Nightwish. But anyhow, I do it. You have the whole list here. You could do the whole set in order if you want to enjoy this one, because I begin to make a lot of connections with the other songs. You might want to listen to these. But this being said, this video is made like all the others I do. First, there's a reaction to the song and the lyrics that I already looked at closely, and especially because I made a French translation of the lyrics. So to make sure I really understand everything with finesse, you know. Second, there will be a short analysis of the lyrics and of the meaning of the song. And third, I will react to a live version. In this case, it's the live version in Tempore, I think you pronounce. I'm not sure, but so let's go immediately to the lyrics video. It's the original studio recording on which you have very clearly the lyrics of the song. When I looked at the words, it didn't ring a bell. I could not sing the song by myself. So this means that I'm not sure which song it is, but I'll probably recognize it. And because I know the album, as you already know. I know the album, but haven't listened to any live version of it. And I haven't looked that closely to the lyrics before today. Maybe an hour ago, it was the first time I looked at the lyrics. So let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Thunder. See? Nice. 6/8. Very British Islands, Celtic. Nice melody.
Alone by a seashore at the end of day.
I didn't remember the intro.
The horizon where the sea winds in his face. Tempest hostile and seasons all the same. Anchorage and painted and a ship without a name. Sea without a shore for the banished one unheard. Your light is the people light at the end of the world. Showing the way, lighting hope in their hearts. The ones in their travels all water from afar. This is for long forgotten, light at the end of the world. Horizon crying, the tears you left behind long ago.
Sounds like Marco. Troy has a back vocal. Daria, what does she do there? Yeah. Somebody made a mistake here.
The albatross is flying, making him daydream. The time before he became one of the world's to see. Princess in the tower, children in the fields. Life gave him it all and not another universe. Oh, now his love's a memory, a ghost in the fog. He sets the sails and last has saying farewell to the world. Anchor to the water, seabed far below. Grass still in his feet and a smile beneath his brow. This is for long forgotten, light at the end of the world. Horizon crying, the tears were left behind long ago.
Signature. Borana, very well recorded. Insistence, we call this. Okay, good. The seed, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the song has been written by Thomas and Marco, and I'm amazed by the contribution on Marco on the album Dark Passion Play. I think until now, I think this is where he shines, really shines, both as a bassman, but mainly the artistic contribution of Marco is fantastic in that album. I think he expresses something that has not been expressed very often in the Nightwish repertoire. Apart from the contribution of Marco for the lyrics and the music, if I recall well, I don't remember with precision, but I think I read earlier today that it was the both of them. The arrangements are all Troy. He has 4 channels at one point. We can see his bouzouki style of string instrument. We hear his flute in one ear, and we hear the bagpipe in the other ear, and another flute, and his voice, and so in terms of arrangements, this is all British. I mean, I will say it generally, British Islands, because I don't want to offend anyone. To me, it sounds very English, maybe a bit Scottish as well. But one thing I can say, so this song could have been written in Canada, in Nova Scotia, for example, Cape Breton, with a very, very strong English and or Scottish influence. So, yeah, it's very well situated, and it arrives in the album a little bit like, what the heck, you know what I mean? After Sahara, after different influences, it's like out of the blue. And yeah, the blue here has a meaning, a very interesting meaning. So let's go through the explanation of a song now. I think that we will find them very interesting. The lyrics are interesting, very interesting. Let's begin. Verse 1. I put the 8 lines, 2 paragraphs, as verse 1, but in reality, this, in terms of musical structure, it is 2 times of 1 verse. So it should be verse 1, verse 2, and later verse 3, verse 4. But for practical reason, I put the 2 first verses into one slide like this. An old man by a seashore at the end of the day gazes the horizon with sea winds in his face. Tempest-tossed island, seasons all the same. Anchorage unpainted, and a ship without a name. Sea without a shore for the banished one unheard. He lightens the beacon light at the end of the world, showing the way, lighting hope in their hearts, the one on their travels homeward from afar. This is the paradox of the man in a lighthouse. An old man by a seashore at the end of the day. This is clear. So it's an old man. Gazes the horizon with sea winds in his face. He look at the horizon. Tempest-tossed island. An island battered by the wind, the sea winds. Seasons all the same. Anchorage unpainted. Nowhere. A ship without a wind. Nobody. Solitude, but also a loss of identity. Still, or yet, sea without a shore from the banished one unheard. A sea without a shore. So he looks at the horizon, there are no shores. And he is a banished one, now unheard. It's very interesting. Sea without a shore. He is on an island. There's a shore on an island. Yeah, but the island, I will suggest, is a lonely heart. I will suggest that to you. So see here, there's no shore, there's no certainty of a banished one. He lightens the beacon, light at the end, not of the day, but now it's at the end of the world. So it's the end of the day, it's the end of the world. He lights a beacon, a word that we will see again in a song like Shoemaker. This idea of, or also the lighthouse, we saw that. So this idea that the lonely man without an identity at the end of the world lights a lighthouse, showing the way, lighting hope in their hearts, while he himself is lost in a way. The ones, and who are those under their hearts? They are the one on their travels homeward from afar. They are very far, they are going towards home, but this guy has nothing. It's completely in a barren land, unpainted anchorage on a ship without a name. This is for long forgotten light at the end of the world. Horizon crying the tears he left behind long ago. The horizon reveals what is the horizon of a sea. Wide open sea without a shore reveals what? The heart is an echo, a visual echo of the heart. No shores, only water, nothing. And this is for long forgotten light. So he lights the lighthouse. He is a beacon for the others, but for himself there is no light. Third and fourth paragraph. The albatross is flying, making him daydream, the time before he became one of the worlds unseen. Princess in the tower, children in the fields, life gave him it all. An island of the universe. Now his love's merry, a ghost in the fog. He sets the sails one last time, saying farewell to the world. Anchor to the water, seabed far below. Grass still in his feet and smile beneath his brow. I wonder what is the exact meaning. I think I have an idea, but I want to hear you about this. The albatross is flying like a bird over the sea. Make him daydream, thinking that there is a land somewhere, there is a world out there. The time, at that time, before, when he was not one of the worlds unseen. Now, what was there at that time? There was a princess in a tower, and there were children in the fields. What is he referring to? Is he referring to his childhood, children in the fields with a princess? Is he referring to a long-gone love, the princess, with whom he had children? I don't know. What I know is that it might be simply two different images, a princess in a tower and children in the field, as being two images of a world he doesn't have access to anymore. Life gave him it all. He had everything at the time. He thought. And then an island of the universe. What is the meaning? He had everything, yet he was an island in the universe. So, is it the feeling of always a certain loneliness within the universe? But there was a time he was not completely isolated, but still there was solitude in the life of the old man. That's why I tell you, the island seems to me an image of his heart, how his heart is. He feels completely without a shore, without life for himself. But there was a time he was not alone, but still he was an island. And I don't know if you know this poem, that every man is an island. So that would be then synonymous with one individual has been within the world, within the universe, but still realizing, understanding that at the end, he is an island. What do you think about that? Now, his love's a memory. So, the Princess in the Tower, I guess, is a love. I guess. But now, she's a memory. She's a ghost in the fog. You know that theme, ghost love score, ghost love, a love that never been turned into reality. Ghost here comes back. He sets the sails one last time, saying farewell to the world. So he prepares himself to say farewell to the world. Sets the sail, but anchor to the water. Seabed far below. If you set the sail, you remove the anchor. What happens if you keep the anchor at the bottom and that you set the sails? One last time, where is he going? Where do you go? If you open the sails and you keep the anchor down below, very deep, the ship will go nowhere. Or even the ship might break and sink. Grass still in his feet and smile beneath his brow. How do you understand this? The anchor is still at the very bottom. And I will suggest something to you, coming from the first song, The Poet and the Pendulum, to understand that song. And let me tell you if you think it makes sense. This is a mistake. Yeah, there it is. I don't know what it was. I've forgotten. So this is for a long forgotten light at the end of the world. Horizons crying the tears he left behind long ago. So the horizon echoes the tears that were a long time ago in his heart. But does that mean that when the chorus arrives in time, the old man is dead a long time ago? That could be an understanding. Now, in terms of structure, the introduction is gorgeous. And in fact, it's very rich. It's a little bit longer than that. And the theme is beautiful as well, I might add. So the introduction is longer a little bit. Then you have the two first verses that I put on the same slide in this presentation. The very short chorus of 2 lines. Same thing, verse 3 and 4, and 2 times the chorus. It's in a 6/8 beat time signature. It's very English, British Isles. Both the melody and the lyrics, they sound very much from there. Like I said, this could be a Canadian song as well, from the provinces that we have close by the sea. The sea has this ambivalent dimension, both as a place of comfort and of death. We will see that this is common in Nightwish songs of the past as well. In terms of lyrics now, it seems like another song of the sea, like many others. A lonely old man singing or telling a story. A tired one regretting an old flame from which he cried a whole sea. Oh, sea here would be S, like this. The site of the song is an island, a lighthouse, where there is solitude, if not loneliness. to me, there's a clear connection between this song and the opening, The Poet and the Pendulum. Let's see how. First, there's a connection with Whoever Brings the Night. There is a bashful sailor with a woman in that song, and the love presented as a short-term illusion. Would that be that love, that the old sailor? I don't think so. So I think it's a different setup, a different setting than this song. Now, I would bet more a little bit on the situation of the Sahara, where the philosopher is presented as an ancient mariner. This ancient mariner is in love with a queen. Here he's in love with a princess, a queen for which he's ready to die for. So, and in that song, the desert turns into the Elysian fields. We don't know what is the outcome of the situation. This song, and maybe Whoever Brings the Night, suggests that it didn't last. Something was an illusion in all that story, if it's the same in any ways. This being said, for me, we have to read that song in parallel with the last section of The Poet and the Pendulum. Not the last, the third section, the last a little bit as well. In The Poet and the Pendulum, you have tuck me beneath the blue, beneath the pain. The sea as the place of pain, and the wish to go under the sea is the wish to go in deepness where there is no pain. You see the connection here? So the ocean, the horizon, is at surface there are tempests battering the island. There's a wish to go under the tempests, the storms. There's a wish to go in the deep blue, beneath the pain. Another quote from The Poet and the Pendulum. On the shore we sat and hope, under the same pale moon, whose guiding light chose you all. At that time, there was a guiding light. At that time, there was a shore. Not anymore. There are no shores anymore, no guiding lights. Light. The third quote, search for beauty, find your shore. Try to save them all, bleed no more. You have such ocean within. In the end, I will always love you. This is at the very, very end of the song. That's the fourth section. So, try to save them all. Search for beauty. Search, find your shore. You see? So the shore was at the beginning, and now the old man doesn't have any shore. He is on an island, but there are no shore ground. I shouldn't play on word. I think it's the father of the mother says, search for beauty, find your shore. Stop traveling without a home ground. Try to save them all. The islander lights a lighthouse for the others to know where to go, while he is without a guiding light. He saved them all. So, bleed no more, that stop dying, because you are a light for the others. You have such ocean within you. You remember how in Endless Form, Most Beautiful, but especially in Human nature. Both the section Blue and many places in the album, I told you, and the theme in their repertoire of the ocean as being the deepness of the soul as well. There you have it again. In the end, I will always love you, says the mother. And there is certainly for me a connection between the mother loving a son and finding your shore, finding your ground, coming back home, the ground, the shore that is not maybe the last one, but the one that you had while you were in your young age, when you were a little boy. For me, I don't know if for you this makes sense, but for me, the islander, the mariner, the poet, they are different words to describe the same character. Here, in the old man, the islander, you hear clearly the solitude and the tiredness after the loss of a true love. You feel like an old man when you lose a great love. You feel solitude, loneliness. You don't have a shore anymore. Yet, the islander brings light and direction to the others without having it in himself anymore. So the islander lost the guiding light, which here is at the same time being without a name, the losing of one's identity. What do I think of the song? As the album unfolds, we feel more and more the touch of Troy. I don't know if the first songs were without him. I'm not aware of anything here. I have no idea. But as the album progresses, we hear his contribution is more and more manifest, to the point that this is completely, I would say, completely British in the arrangements. It could be called an English folk song, and even called a sea song, which is a completely new color to my ears in Nightwish. A completely new landscape. We see something else here. So we go from the desert that becomes Elysian fields to an island in the middle of nowhere. This, in terms of images, imagine it's the complete opposite. It's another desert in a way. A desert of water, but mainly a desert of people. Both are deserts of people. The cursed couple of Pharaoh and the gods that you have in Sahara and the song before seems to be now separated, and at least the male character seems to be living the cursed dimension. The loneliness, the absence of a direction, guiding light, and maybe there's even the seduction of the blue as a place of death, as a place of rest. I think the song is dealing with the temptation of self-destruction, I think. But I'm not certain of that. I'm just saying that it seems to be very delicately implied in the last line of the fourth verse. I love this song. There is folk influence in Nightwish, and they become more and more, but I could say that in the early albums, I would call it, I'm not familiar all that much. I know a little bit of Finnish trad music, folklore, To me, it sounded a little bit more Northern Europe at the beginning. But now we're moving towards a real Celtic sound, which is part of Nightwish as we speak, with the arrival the arrival of Troy. I would say that this song explodes with British Isles influences. That's how I would put it. This one is certainly the farthest in that direction that I know anyways. So what is the purpose of such an unexpected musical exploration? I think that there is a quest for a renewed sound. Input from somewhere else to bring something new in Nightwish. A new singer and new musical influences to bring something new to Nightwish. And I think it's a great addition. Troy, at least in terms of music, is a great addition. Next week, a little surprise. I tried to find the lyrics of the track "Lasts of the Wilds," and I've been told that it's an instrumental musical piece. So we will not listen to it, not because it's not important, it's simply because I will have no analysis to do apart from saying general comments on the structure of the song. 7 Days to the Wolves has already been done. You can look for it in LM 72. So we will go directly to Meadows of Heaven. That will be Lectio Musica 105, the last song of the album. We'll be able to do, as 106, a recap because the 3 songs I made a long time ago, I will go and listen to them again, and I will regroup my ideas, and I will make an appreciation of the whole album as LM 106. Don't forget, reaction and analysis of the song is always in English, but you have 8 languages of subtitles. You have the reaction to the lyrics video. You have reaction to a live video. And in between, you have an analysis of the lyrics. The premiere is always at 1:30 on Fridays. And don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel by clicking down below here. Subscribe button, and right up beside it, you will see will appear a small bell. This is for notification. You will receive a notification that I just posted a new video, and you will receive one more notification to tell you that my premiere will start in 30 minutes. As for now, let's go and watch what many people of you told me to be absolutely gorgeous in Tampere, Finland, the Islander.
A Norman by a seashore at the end of day gazes the horizon with sea wind in his face. Tempest tossed island, seasons all the same, anchorage and painted and a ship without a name. Sea without a shore for the banished one unheard, he lightens the beacon light at the end of the world, showing their way, lighting hope in their hearts, once in their travels homeward from afar. Eli jos mä soitaisin kertosäkeen, niin te varmaan laulatte mukana. Laulatte? Okei, sit se vedetään. This is for long forgotten, light at the end of the world, horizon crying, the tears he left behind long ago.
He has a better voice here than on the album. Much better. Maybe a bit lower. I'm not sure. It's wonderful. This, I prefer this. On the album, he has strong accent on 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 words.
The albatross is flying, making him daydream. Time before he became one of the world's unseen. Princess in the tower, children in the fields. Life gave him it all, and now I know the universe. Now his love's a memory, ghost in the fog. Sets the sails from last and saying farewell to the world. Anchor to the water, see it far below. Rustle in his feet and a smile beneath his brow. This is for long forgotten, light at the end of the world. Horizon crying, the tears he left behind long ago. So long ago. So long ago.
Okay, that's a recent one.
This is for
2018.
long forgotten, light at the end of the world. Horizon crying, the tears he left behind so long ago. Oh yeah. So long ago. So long ago.
Much better.
So long ago. So long ago. So long ago.
Yeah, wait. Yeah. Much more mature as musicians. This is very well done. And they decided to leave the whole space for Marco to enjoy a kind of a communion with, as if he was singing a song by a fireplace. You know, this is such an experience. You know, there's somebody bringing a guitar by a big fire, and all together we sing around him. We could see people singing in the crowd, and that's exactly what they created. Come around a fire. I remember very well another song by from that concert when I said exactly the same thing with Flor. She told a story in a completely different fashion compared to Tarja at the time. Tarja was the wonderful, great presentation. Yeah, I would say, was it Sleeping Sun or another one? She was phenomenal. Taria was phenomenal, but Fleur, she decided to go completely in another place by singing it like if she was telling us a story by the fire. This is the same thing here. There's a clear will to create an event of proximity in a big stadium. That's wonderful. And of course, it's in Finland. He speaks, if I'm not mistaken, Finnish. So that was a great, and they extended the Finnish with all the instruments. And I see our friend Kai playing a very unique kind of, it's not a maracas, it has on one side, it's padded on one side. So instead of hearing you just hear when he makes the move towards the front or the back. It depends on if he wants to have the sound on the back beat, on the main beat. It's such a beautiful, and the whole band is much more mature. Troy on this is much better. The voice of Marco, much better. The only thing I personally, when I play a 6/8, I prefer on the guitar, he plays it very simply. It's tha, 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 tha. I prefer to have a more fluid ta, la, 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 la. But this is only a matter of style, of taste. I prefer a little bit more sustained sound of guitar in a 6/8. But he has to sing at the same time to be concentrated, to not miss a beat or one word of the lyrics or whatever. So, loved it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.